I did not prepare that well enough, as you can see. Let me just see if here's the one. I need to roll a 3 or higher to get that coin, which I did. So now I could say, awesome, I got a coin. That was a pretty bad dungeon delve, because usually you can get a lot more stuff. Hey everyone, this is Zacharias, and today I've got something quite cool for you, so I hope you'll enjoy that. As you might remember, I recorded a playthrough of the roll and write of Minds and Men just a little while ago, and if I don't forget, I will link to it up here right now, so you can check it out if you want to, but don't forget to come back to this video after that words. And the creator, Mauro Indini, they also sent me everything for their current campaign. So I got like a little demo set that I could show off on my channel for their current campaign, which is of Minds and Men, Anger of the Lost. And now, although you see a pen here, but we don't really have a roll and write anymore. This is some kind of dungeon crawler, but it's a little bit different than most dungeon crawlers you know. So let me just very quickly set up the game, and then I will show you how this works. Like this, it should work out. Okay, so you see the setup is quite minimal, and actually I hardly put anything here. You see that there's still a lot of stuff up here that I put aside. We will take that whenever it is relevant, because if you put everything on the table at the same time, then you will have need a massive amount of table space. All right, so what does it work about? Well, this is it's described as a roll and write, print and play boss rush game. What we essentially do is we go through dungeons, we defeat bosses, we collect resources, we craft relics, and with all these secret relics, we can actually then win the game. So let me kind of guide you through what you see here, and then I will probably get started with the game right away. So we have our Olaf here. He's age 70. That means there are different Olafs you can play through the game. For the demo version, I only got this one here, this version. I think that's the oldest one. But essentially, you have like a list. You roll on that list, and then you receive like a specific Olaf, right? And they all are a little bit different. They have different like health, sanity points, I think, and also the attack and defense. They are just different then, right? Also, we have a weapon. We start with level 1. This little ribbon here with the 1 says level 1. We will also see that with the bosses later on. And this is the Valentine. This is our level 1 weapon that gives us +1 health, +1 sanity. And we can also, once per fight, we can reroll one of our attack dice, which is pretty cool. And these are special gems you can like socket into the weapon, so to speak. So whenever you are able to craft one of these, then you can socket them in here, and then you can either just cross them off, right? Or what you can also do is, if you don't want to use it as a roll and write, but you want to reuse it, then you can just put a cube there if you want to, right? But you will keep playing the game over different sessions. So it might be, what I would suggest is taking one of these friction pens here. I'm not sponsored, but I've spoken about them several times because they're pretty good. They don't look nice at all. I don't like the design at all, but they work well because you can just cross something off. And whenever you don't need that anymore, you can just, with the power of friction, so to speak, you can just erase that again. All right, you can see it better than a pen, than a pencil, but you can also erase that. So I would suggest something like that for this game, because you will play it over several sessions. I don't know if you can unsocket these, but maybe you want to replay the game from the beginning at some point with different Olaf. I don't know, right? So just an option, just an idea. Okay. So this is what you see here. Then we also have our inventory. There we can just, whenever we collect stuff, we can just note everything in there. I would use such a pen again, because then you can just put maybe just a line or a square there, and whenever you've used it, instead of crossing it off and just having more and more stuff you put in here, you can just erase it again, and that's fine. Okay. That is pretty much all you see here at the moment. There is a lot more to the game, but I will show that to you when it's time, because now let's just start. So how does the gameplay loop work? Well, your gameplay loop is actually quite simple. You go through a dungeon, you fight a boss, and then you see whatever you can do with your materials and whatever you got. That's pretty much it, right? And then you start again. You go through a dungeon, and so on and so on. So what we do is now, we would now go through the dungeon here, right? So what we do for that is we look for the 1. I did not prepare that well enough, as you can see. Let me just see if here's the 1. We put the 1 someplace here in our well, let me just put that aside, and then we can put the 1 here, for example, right? So you see down here, like this is the mine entrance. Here we start. So I will just put a little cube here, and then we can start there. And what we then do is we shuffle the rest of the tiles like this. That's okay. And then we draw one, and we put it like you see that there is. Okay, this is a bad example. Just for demonstration's sakes, that was really bad. Let me just find a different one. This one here, for example. So, and then you see that different entrances here and exits. So you need to line them up like this, right? And you do that until you have 6 lying there. The one I just drew that you saw, that was one that didn't have another exit. So our dungeon would have been very small. But I want to show you how it looks like if you line them all up. Let me actually, I think that's fine. And then number 4 here. We will put that here, and you need to be kind of careful how you lay out the dungeon, right? Because if you like go around here and you can't put another dungeon tile there, then that's pretty bad for you, right? So let me just pull that up here. Let's put that one here, and then let's put the last one here, like this. You can still see that, so that should be fine regarding space. 2, 4, 6. That's it. These are the 6 ones we have, and what we also have is this thing here, right? We need that counter. I will put that up here so you can see that. And now here I would really suggest not taking any pins. I would just suggest taking another cube. Let me just get one. Let me just get let's take a blue one. Blue is pretty cool, right? So let's take a blue cube here. And now we start round 1. So I will just put that here. And what now happens is you take just 1 die. I will just take the one with the red here, of course. And then you roll your die. You roll the die for movement and for pickups, right? So now I can move 1. That's cool. And that was my first roll. And now I advance the tracker here because you see there are 10 spaces here. I can roll 10 times and then I'm done with the dungeon. Then I have to fight the boss. That's pretty much it, right? So I have a 2. Okay, I'm really rolling really bad right now. I can't really demonstrate anything to you. But let me just roll one more time, a 1, and then we go over here. So that was the number 3, and now I will roll the number 4. And you see here that now we have like this gem here, this blue gem. And if I want to pick it up, I need to roll a 3 or higher. So let me just roll a 3 or higher. There we go. And now I picked up that blue gem. So now I can go to my inventory, and I can say, okay, I got one of these blue gems here. Great, wonderful. Of course, what you can also do is take tokens again, right? And just put a token here to symbolize you have one of those, right? Whenever you use it, you can take it away. But since you play this game over several sessions, I would recommend drawing it in there. All right, I don't know if I tracked this correctly here, but let's just pretend I did. Okay, I'm rolling really bad right now. Let me take a different die. I have the feeling this one is not a good one. So, and then roll number 6, a 3, 1, 2, and now you see, now we can go over here to the next dungeon area, right? And then we just continue rolling. It's a 1 again. Okay, I'm just unlucky. These dice are completely okay. I at least want to get one of these coins here. So 1, 2, 3, for example. And then I need to roll a 3 or higher to get that coin, which I did. So now I could say, awesome, I got a coin. That was a pretty bad dungeon delve because usually you can get a lot more stuff. Then I roll again, a 2. Yeah, let's go over there, and I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, that was it. That was my last roll, so I can't do anything anymore, right? I couldn't have picked up the gold coin again because I already did pick it up. And that's it. That was my dungeon delve. I didn't get a whole lot this time, but that's how it is. And now we fight the boss, as you can see here, right? There's like, the bosses are called souls, and there's like the silhouette of a soul here. So what we do now is, now we have 3 boss mats. These are the level 1 bosses. And you see, you probably realize that I'm saying level 1 weapon, level 1 bosses, whatever. I just got a demo pack here. Like in the finished game, you will have like more bosses. I think even more dungeon tiles, I'm not quite sure. More weapons and everything. So there is a video on the Kickstarter page of this project where you can also see how the game is played. It's just structured a little bit differently than my video, but you can all actually see a level 2 weapon there, which is a prototype still. So we have these 3 bosses, they all function differently. What you do is you just shuffle them somehow, or you just pick whatever you want, but you should just shuffle them, and then you just pick one randomly. The green one here, for example. Okay, so what happens now is, now we can just clean everything up again. Let me just do that quickly. So we will just take all the dungeon tiles again here. Let's keep the 1 at the top, just so that we can find it next time again, because we always start with the 1. I put all of that up here. We don't need that at the moment. You don't even need to see it in frame necessarily. Doesn't really matter that much. And then we put our guy here. And also we put the boss here. Let me just put the boss like this. And that should be just fine for now. Okay. And now you see, like the boss, similar. You have health points here. You have a damage and defense dice that you roll. You have the attack value here. Cheat death, I will get to that later if I don't forget. And here's a special ability. Each boss has a different special ability. And here you see you have 10 turns to defeat that boss. So I will take a tracker to track the amount there. Okay, wonderful. Okay, and now each boss can be defeated several times. So the first time we defeat it, which is now, I hope we defeat it, we get these rewards here. And then you cross that off, and like, oh, you can see it, right? Let me just get that over here, you can see it. And then you cross that off here. And the next time you defeat this boss, then you are at stage 2, and then you cross off that box, and you continue until you're at stage 7. And then whenever you first do the stage 7, you always do stage 7 when you fight the boss, right? Nothing to cross off anymore, because you always get these rewards, which is important because these are the relics here, and you will need a lot of relics to actually win the game. Okay, so, and how this works now is that we see here, we look at our attack, we have 4 dice, so we roll all of our 4 dice, like this. Oh, that's actually a pretty good roll. And you see, we do damage for each die that we hit. We hit all 4 dice, because we need to roll a 3 at least. We did with all 4 dice. So we would now do 8 damage, but the boss can still defend, right? Defense, 2 dice. So let's take 2 dice here for the boss. The boss needs 3 at least to defend. Well, the boss defended with 1 die. So of our 4 dice that hit, we hit with 3 dice. Base damage is 2, so 2 times 3, that is 6. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. What you can do here, because this is temporary, you can actually just track that with cubes again. You can just put 6 cubes in here, 2, 4, 6, that's it. Right? You can just put 6 cubes here, or you can put 15 there and just take them off whenever you do damage to the boss. All right, that was pretty much it. We could have re-rolled one of our attack dice, but that is not necessary. Okay, and then the boss counterattacks, right? So 3 dice, at least a 3 or more. So let's see. That is 1 hit. But we can defend with 2 dice. So let's defend with 2 dice. 3 plus, we did not defend, right? So the boss actually does damage us. And you see here, base damage is 2. So we receive 2 damage. And it continues like that, right? So let's... Oh, each time you do damage, roll a die. If you obtain an even number, you lose 2 sanity points, by the way. I should have done that. So I did 3 damage, like 3 damage dice, right? So I would have, I should have rolled 3 dice. Let me just do that. There's 1 even number, so we lose 2 sanity. Which is interesting, because the sanity mechanic this is pretty much like a second health bar, right? And whenever one of them reaches 0, you lose. Right? Either health or sanity. So that's pretty interesting. All right, now let's do damage again. That is the second turn, by the way. So we do damage with 3 dice. But let's just use our power here to re-roll. Perfect. So we hit with all 4 dice. And now let's see how the enemy defends. Not in all, right? So we get through with all 4 dice. So that is 4 times 2. That's 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the boss has 2 health left, which is great, because the next round we should win, but we need to roll a die. Oh, each time you do damage, roll 1 die. So I shouldn't have rolled 3 dice because we now did damage and now we need to roll a die, but it's not an even number, so that is fine. Okay, and now the boss counter attacks with 3 dice. So let's see. Oh, hits with 2 actually. So we need to defend with 2 dice and hope that we can defend, which we can't. So the boss actually does 2 times 2 damage, which is 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then it's our turn again. Turn 3, right? We attack with 4 dice. And yeah, we have 3 hits here. And the boss tries to defend. And actually does defend 2 of those 3, right? But we still get through, do 2 damage. And that is all we need to defeat the boss, right? But we did damage. So let's check our sanity again. That is a 6. So we actually do lose 2 sanity again. Okay. So that's how the battle works, right? So we defeated the boss. Let me just erase that because we will need it for the next fight. And then we cross. Let me just get that over here. We don't need this anymore either. So we cross that off. And we can now say in our inventory, we got one of these green gems and we got a treasure chest. Like the cryptic chests. And that is it. So we went through the dungeon, we defeated the boss, and now we take a look at our loot and see what we can do. And for that, we take all of this stuff up here. And now I will just show you how all of the stuff up here works. And then you are pretty much ready to play the first game, because then you pretty much know the game. So, let's start with like the simple things first. So first of all, what we have is we have like the shops here, right? So we have the Extraordinary Emporium. We have the Suspicious Shop and the Cryptic Chest. The Extraordinary Emporium, you can spend gems here, as you can see, to get stuff. Right? You can like get a gold coin, you can transform one gem into a different gem, you can get one ruby, sapphire, emerald, or one random relic. The relics are your end game. That is your goal. You want to get relics. I will show to you how that works in a bit. Gems you can only get through these special dungeons here, right? These are not called special dungeons, they're called secret dungeons, right? So for these secret dungeons, you need specific keys, which we don't have yet, but then you can get into the dungeons, you see, like, it's all full of diamonds. This is like what you need for this Extraordinary Emporium. So this is quite important, actually, to get there. Then we have the Suspicious Shop. You can just spend gold coins. I only have 1 at the moment, but you can just buy, for example, here you see that a key, right? Buy a key for 5 gold coins, so you can actually get into this secret dungeon. But you can also sell your gems, because the idea behind the game is really like this grindy RPG kind of thing, right? That you know from maybe video games like Diablo or like the other ARPGs like Torchlight or whatever, that you like keep going into dungeons just to get specific materials in order to be able to craft stuff. In this game, you don't craft a whole lot, but you can just go into dungeons, keep going into dungeons. You could sell all these gems you receive there just for the coins in order to get the keys, and then go in there. So you keep playing and playing this game. It's pretty funny because it's like this kind of grindy game, right? And then you also have the Cryptic Chest. Cryptic Chest means that you can buy one of these mythic chests or cryptic chests. I'm not quite sure. They have like 2 names. You can buy them for 5 gold coins, but you see here, we actually have one, right? We just collected one, defeating the boss. So what we then do is we take 4 dice, like this, and then we roll these 4 dice and add up all the values. And this is like, we open the chest and this is what we get. So let's just do that. Okay, so we have 10, 15, 16. Okay, so 16, we look over here. Okay, so we actually get 1 sapphire. So let's get that sapphire here, and we don't have the chest anymore. Right? So you have like loot chests, so to speak, right? That's pretty funny. So these are the 3 shops. There's nothing else I want to do. I don't want to sell anything, so I will just leave these shops for now, and that is it. The next thing we can do is go to the jeweler, which is quite interesting. In the jeweler, you see like all these kind of gems here, right? Which is pretty interesting. And what we have is these these regular gems, right? The rubies, sapphire, and emeralds. But what we also have is the imperial gems. That's these here at the jeweler with like the wooden background here, right? And what we can do is we can just take our gems and we can put them here into the jeweler. And instead of selling them or doing anything else with them, and whenever we have all of that filled, we can craft one of these imperial gems. And these imperial gems, they can be used to be socketed into our weapon here, right? And these are then permanent. So we can take that imperial ruby here, for example, and we socket it into our Valentine. And then you see that we will get plus one attack damage permanently. And that is pretty cool, right? I mean, that is a pretty cool thing. So you can actually like upgrade your weapons. And you can also get weapons with a higher level that I don't have access to at the moment with this demo kit here. I would love to show it to you, but I don't have it at the moment. But then we can also have like other weapons that we can socket with these gems and make them even stronger, right? And I think that is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool idea. Also, you see, you can either get one of these imperial gems, but you can also like put all that in here to actually get a key. And remember, we need a key for this secret dungeon here. And the last thing you need to know, and then you can almost really play the game, is the relic generator. This is the end game. This is your end goal, so to speak. So let's just imagine we already had one of these relics here, right? You can get them, for example, by defeating bosses. There are also other ways you can get them. I will speak about that later. I hope I don't forget. So what you do is here, let's say you have one of these relics. And let's also say we have a few gold coins, because you should have some gold coins. What you do is you take a die and you roll it. That is a 6, for example, right? So let's just, you know what? Let's just take a few counters here, a few cubes, and let's put them on the 6 here. So we will now try to get this relic here. And now we continue. You see the next level here, there are 2 dice, one with a 1 and one with a 2. So now we take 2 dice and we need to roll a 1 and a 2, exactly. Which we did not do. But let's just imagine that I rolled a 2 and a 5, right? So the 2, we got that one. That is wonderful. But we still need that 1. I can re-roll a die if I spend a gold coin, right? So let's say I spend a gold coin, then I re-roll the die. Oh, I got the 1 immediately. But that is fine. Then let me get a token here. Give me a second. Let me just get a different colored one, because now I'm just going the route of using different colored ones like this, so it's all colorful. All right, so we managed the 2nd level. Now our progress will reset to 1 coin. Let's just imagine I wouldn't have rolled a 1, but instead a 2. Then of course that wouldn't have been enough for that 1, right? It's still not the right number, so I could have re-rolled again by spending 3 gold coins. So we go down and down. But let's just say this works now, so everything resets to 1 now for the next level. Now we have level 3. We take 3 dice and we roll again, which is actually a really good roll, because we got a 3 and a 4. That is exactly what we need here, right? So let me just put 2 tokens there. And we still need a 5, but we rolled a 2. So I will spend 1 gold coin again to re-roll. I will spend 3 gold coins to re-roll again. I will spend 5 gold coins to re-roll again. And you see, I'm being really unlucky. Let's say I still have 7 gold coins left. So 1 more re-roll still didn't work, right? So now I don't have any gold coins anymore. Let's just assume that. That means, well, that's it. We need to do this in 1 sitting. So if I can't spend gold coins to re-roll anymore and I can't get this last level, then, well, tough luck. That's it. So that means we were not able to actually generate that relic, right? So we just need to go into the dungeons again and need to try again to get relics. Or maybe I still have some, then I can start again. I would then roll again 1 die. That is 4, so we will start here this time and then we will continue. The end goal of the game, the way to actually win is to have all 6 relics generated here, right? That is what you need to do. Right, and for that you need to grind a lot. You need a lot of gold coins, also a lot of luck, and also you need, well, a lot of relics, right? And you can get these by defeating bosses, for example. The other way you can actually get these relics is by in the seasons. So there's another aspect that is added to the game that I can't show to you right now because I don't have it here in the demo pack, but there will be seasons, so to speak. I don't 100% know how they work at the moment, but it seems like that there are specific rewards for doing specific things during a season, so to speak. So this seems to change, right? Of course, I mean, if you're playing offline for yourself, you can probably do whatever you want, but it seems like that there is like some way to tell you like this season offers that and that, right? It will like just change over time, which is a pretty interesting concept, right? That's something that you also have in Diablo 3, for example. Just way more different, of course, but it's like kind of that idea. So that's pretty cool. And that is pretty much how you play the game. So what I would do now is I would now, again, do the dungeon, right? I would put the one here, I would shuffle, and I would just lay out my dungeon again. I would go through that within 10 turns. And after that, I would then defeat the boss. I would just draw one of these 3 bosses. Maybe this time I would actually draw the red boss here. And the red boss I haven't defeated yet, so I will be at level 1 here, right? Or maybe I will draw the green boss again. Well, level 1 is already done, so now I will do level 2 here, right? That is a pretty cool idea. And you also see that these experience points here, I think that is not part of the demo pack here, because you can level up. I'm not sure if you can level up or if you can just level up your weapons. That's something I still don't quite know yet, because as I said, I don't have everything in this demo pack, but it's enough to show you how the game works. The very last thing I will show to you before I will give you my small review of the game is the secret dungeon. The secret dungeon works differently. You put down the 1, and then you actually start a timer. I don't have one here right now, but you put that timer to 1.5 minutes, and within these 1.5 minutes, all is fair game, right? So you start with your guy again here, with your token, and then you just roll a die. Okay, 2, great. And then you go again, a 5. Okay, I will go up here. And then I need a 4 at least to get that gem. Come on. There we go. I got the gem, right? Then you note down your gem. And then I want to go into the next dungeon. With a 1, well, that doesn't quite work, but let's just draw the next dungeon. Okay, cool. All right, and then you just continue, right? You can. This is like a really cool room because you get all these kind of gems. And let's say you still have time to get out here, and then you can actually go back and you can go into a different room here, like this, right? And then you can just continue and do your thing. And whenever these 1.5 minutes are up, then you exit the dungeon and you defeat the boss again. So it's similar, but this has a real-time element. What I like more here is that I don't like real-time elements too much, especially since you do need some kind of way to count down, to have like a timer here. But you can just use your cell phone, or maybe you have like a sand timer from a different game that is 1.5 minutes. But what I like here is that you actually explore the dungeon. You don't see the entire dungeon at once, right? So that is one thing I really like. I'm not sure. Maybe you could have done that with this dungeon here as well, right? Not laying out the entire dungeon, but actually exploring it and see what comes up. I think that would have been also quite exciting, but yeah. And that is how Of Mines and Men, Anger of the Lost works. This is pretty much it. I don't have a whole lot to showcase anymore. I mean, I could go through another dungeon and do everything again, but I will not be able to play through the entire game, right? I will probably not even be able to get a relic and enough gold to actually generate a relic, right? That would be possible. I would have to grind much, much more, especially since you need a lot of gold coins, especially me, since I'm not the luckiest person. And whenever you have crossed off all these 6 relics, then you win the game. That is how you play the game. So let me just say a few things about it. So the most obvious thing, of course, is that this is quite innovative. This is pretty much really like a grindy dungeon crawler. I've always been wondering why there aren't any games like that. If there are games like this, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to play or check out such a game. But the thing is, like, most dungeon crawlers, even they are just one-time games, or they have like a campaign or mission-based scenarios, and this one doesn't, right? You have like everything you need here. You just keep going into dungeons, exploring dungeons, do that over and over and over to grind up all the materials you need to actually do the stuff. And you have like a tier system here for the bosses. So the bosses, they give you different rewards the more often you defeat them. That's pretty cool. I like this idea, right? I think this is a really cool idea. I mean, you could also make a multiplayer game out of that, right? You just go into the dungeon like at a 2, 3, or 4 player count, and you all move around the dungeon, pick up stuff and whatever, and then at the end, maybe you make the boss stronger. The more players are in there. I think there are possibilities to do that, right? That's really cool. I like this idea a lot. Regarding like theme, artwork, and style, I don't have anything negative to say. I actually like the art style. It's like this little bit cartoony, but I do enjoy it. I think it's really clean. Like all these symbols and everything, it's clear. Everything is clear. Everything is fine. I like it quite a lot. So this is a game I would definitely recommend if you're up for playing such a game. A little bit of constructive feedback here from my side. So one thing is that there's a lot to print, right? You see, it's a lot of print and to cut out. Especially, I mean, I did it now in a very easy fashion, right? I just printed that out on thick paper. It's enough to showcase the game, but if you want to keep playing the game and you want to have like a nice tactile feel, you will have to make these nicer, right? And this is not difficult to make them nicer, but it will take a lot of time to do everything, like have like all thicker boards and everything. It would take quite a lot of time. This game would really, especially if you have even more weapons, more bosses and whatever, if you like more and more stuff, this is just like a little demo pack, right? But if you print like all of that, that's a lot. This game would really benefit from a professionally produced or printed version. I don't know if that will come to Kickstarter or GameCraft or whatever at some point, but that would really be something that would benefit the game. So yeah, and I think I would be interested in a professionally produced version because I do like the idea of the game. I think what I would enjoy a little bit more in the game also is like have a little bit more variety, because there are some nice features in here, right? So you do have different weapons, you do have these different bosses here that always give like different rewards, right? So that's a pretty good idea, and there seem to be also bosses with a higher level count, so that's pretty cool. But I don't know if you will have more of these dungeon tiles, because this is a grindy game. You will have to go through the dungeon over and over again, and this just is like more of the same at some point, I think, right? That's one thing. The other thing is also that there are no other fights in the dungeon itself, right? It's just pure exploration. At the end, you defeat a boss. That works, but I don't know how this game would fare if you would have like little fights in between, right? Just like mini enemies, right? Just enemies that only have like maybe 5 hit points or 6. And they only do like 1 damage, but they do whittle down your health a little bit, right? So maybe you have the option to also leave a dungeon before you actually face the boss, because the minions have been whittling down your health a little bit too much, right? And maybe you need to just go out of the dungeon earlier, maybe spend your resources to actually maybe level up a little bit or make yourself a little bit stronger, right? Because you would have a little bit more progression there. I think that would be pretty cool. And another thing is that I think this has so much potential, but I think some of the potential is not quite used yet. So you have this weapon that's pretty cool, but why not give the character like more equipment? Give them some armor, right? Or I don't know, maybe some potions or whatever, and implement a little crafting system, because you do have all these gems. You can sell these gems for coins, so you can buy stuff with the coins. That works. That is a pretty cool idea. And also you can take the gems to craft these relics, of course. Not these relics, I mean you go to the jeweler, right? For the imperial gems and the keys. That is fine, but why not give them a third use? Why not let people craft stuff with the gems, right? Like craft a better armor piece or whatever, right? And that would just give you more health points. You don't have to, or maybe even like in a defense die, right? So you could like upgrade your armor and you would just get more health points. And at some point you maybe would not get more health points, but you would actually get an additional die for defense or something like that. I think there is a lot of potential here that is still untapped, but then again, take this with a grain of salt, because I have only played this demo pack here and I don't know what else will be in the final version. But this is a pretty cool thing. So yeah, all in all, I did enjoy my plays with the game. I would definitely keep an eye on the campaign, and if this somehow speaks to you, I would definitely suggest it. But keep in mind, a lot of table space, a lot of stuff to print, right? So it is not, you do have quite a bit of work to actually get everything working here. But whenever you have everything, it is working quite well. I would also suggest when you play this not to lay out everything, except if you want to, but there's like huge amount of table space. I usually have this lying here like this, and then whenever I say I go to a dungeon, then I just take this, put this to the side, then I do my dungeon, and then I put the boss there, right? I take everything I need. If I want to go to the jeweler, I just put it here and just do it. Because otherwise you just have an enormous amount of table space, and I personally don't enjoy that too much. And one more thing I need to mention is keep in mind this is all a prototype, of course, but the rulebook, for example, the rulebook was laid out well enough. I liked the layout, but there were quite a few things that were not explained as much in detail as I would have liked to. There were a few questions I still had to the creator, so I hope that this will still be made a little bit better before the game is actually sent to all the backers, because yeah, there were quite a few things that I wasn't quite sure about, especially regarding combat and everything. But actually, when you saw my video here and things should change too much, everything should be clear after you have watched my video. Yeah, one more thing that I forgot to mention, I will, when editing this video, I will maybe put it in the beginning at the subtitle. So when this video goes live, this campaign still is going for a few days, I think like 2 or 3 days. So not a whole lot. But when you actually watch this video, when it goes live, or 1 or 2 days after, you can still back this project. I don't know how it will be after the project is done, after the project is over. You will probably still be able to get this somehow. I don't know how, but we will probably be able to see that on Kickstarter. But if you want this and you're interested in that, the campaign is still live right as I publish this video. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my little playthrough of the game. If this is the first of my videos you're watching, why don't you head over to my channel and check out my other videos. I have like hundreds of videos there regarding board games, a little bit RPG, and if that is your cup of tea, why don't you just check out the other videos, and I hope there is something that you will enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like or comment just to support me and help the algorithm, right? The algorithm loves that a lot, and a subscription is always welcome, of course, as well. But I'm just happy if you watched my video and you enjoyed it and you had a good time. That is the most important thing, right? Everything else is optional. But if you like discussing board games, you can also come over to my Discord server and we can discuss board games over there. I think we will have a lot of fun there. Alright, that's all from my side. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video. Alright, take care everyone, and cheers.